showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, it seems that, I know this happened days ago. Excuse the noise. This happened days ago, but there was, there's a couple of parts. First, God of War had some leakage. Some screenshots were accidentally leaked. It wasn't anything, on purpose and stuff. And the journalist or whatever, it was accidentally linked to the Twitter account, blah, blah, blah. It was a mistake, so that's fine. I didn't even look at it. Or I did look at them, but I was like, whatever. Then, a Target, I believe. A Target somewhere. I don't know where it was. I didn't look into it, but like one store, maybe more, I don't know. Sold the game early. So the game's coming out November 9th, 8 days from now. But they sold it early, so people have been playing it and posting the videos online. And I did watch some of that. I watched the Kratos and Thor fight. And I got some words about that. But Cory Barlog expressed his disappointment, I guess, in that, this is, paraphrasing, he said, this is why having just the whatever code, not the whole game on disc is a good idea, or something like that, whatever. So the installer or whatever. And so I was like, okay, I mean, sure, whatever. But there's a simple solution. There's a simple solution. But Sony won't do this. Microsoft might do this. Sony won't do this. So the solution is this. If you buy the physical copy, like, first of all, you don't release the physical copy early to retailers. Okay, that's an old, antiquated way. Barely nobody buys those anyway. So this is what you do. You can still release physical copies to retailers, but you release them on the day of release. So you ship them on the day of release, not, we're gonna ship them early so they can put them out on the day of release. No. You ship them from your secure warehouse or whatever on the day of release so that it won't be leaked early, it won't be sold early, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, for the people who have bought the physical copies that they will get a couple of days later or whatever, you offer them a 1-week digital pass to the full game. So they can download the game on the day of release, and they have that for 1 week until they get their physical copy. It's basically a temporary license, and then, and that's all on the back end. So if that messes up somehow, that's on Sony, But I thought of it. There has to be a way to implement that. There has to be a way to say, I bought the physical copy, I pre-ordered it, so can I get my digital 1 week first day one, and then wait for the physical copy? Because honestly, they don't. Do they want the physical copy? Do they want to put a disc in every time? No, not really. But I mean, that's one way to do it. But the thing about Sony is that they want to sell a physical copy and a digital copy probably. I was gonna say, if you buy a certain version, like say you buy the super physical version, right? Comes with a digital copy. But there's only one license. So you can only have one license per user account, right? So you say, boom, I bought the digital copy of God of War Ragnarok, and then you go to buy the physical copy. See, that won't work. I already found a flaw in my plan. It would be two different versions. Yeah. Okay, so that's where the plan falls apart. The only rectifying thing would be to just offer up a digital copy for anybody who buys a physical copy. That's it. If they did that, there would be no issue. If they did what I said, offered a 1 week 1 week digital pass for the game, there would be no problem, because it would open on the day of release, so nobody would get it early. Nobody would get physical copies early. The only people who could leak it are reviewers, and that happened anyway. So there are solutions to these things, and people crying on, Cory's crying, and you know what? It's us. It's humans. It is human nature to leak or to be like FOMO, want to cause FOMO for everybody else, but I'm not gonna be having no FOMO because I got it early and I saw it, and now you're talking about God of War? I already finished that game. It's not even out yet. Blah, you know, it's like a competition to be the first. Remember that first post? So stupid. So, you know, I understand his frustration, but at the same time, you're using an antiquated system. What do you expect, especially now with the internet? Well, everybody can stream everything in the world. Why would you allow the possibility of some random casual out there who can stream on everything to get the game? The possibilities, they're not being secure with their products. They're not being safe. And Sony, I mean, it's almost like clockwork. It's like, Sony game's coming out, AAA Sony game, it's probably gonna leak. It's gonna leak, gonna leak. It's gonna leak. Because they all do, right? I don't know. It's just weird. And I don't know, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal because if you don't want to get spoiled, you won't go looking for them. I appreciate it that they're out there because I'm not gonna buy the game, because I would rather watch a compilation of the gameplay so I don't have to play the game, because the game is God of War. The game hasn't changed. The fundamental game has not changed. The presentation of the game has changed. Now, yes, they added some light RPG elements to it, whatever. So in that respect, yeah, it has changed. But David Jaffe's vision is still there. It's still a god, or half god. I think Kratos is demigod, right? He's not full god, is he? But anyway, he's cursed, right? I believe he's cursed. That's why his skin is gray, from the ashes of slain or his family. Now, whatever. I don't know exactly 100% what the lore is behind Kratos. The fact that he's really strong, he's a god, and the fact that he cannot be killed for the most part, I think he's a god. Although he's killing gods. So, but if he's a god, but I think I watched some random video that it wasn't like official, this is Kratos and why he can't die. It's basically Kratos is cursed. He got cursed by a witch or something and goes to Sparta. I can't remember what game it was. And that's why his skin is pale. And it said that the ashes will not leave his skin, cannot leave his skin. And it causes him to be immortal, basically. Or I forgot how it was worded, but it insinuated that if the ashes do leave his skin, then he could die, I think. But they're bound to him or something, blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm very poorly explaining this. But how I understood it is that he's cursed. He was cursed by this witch lady, and that's why he's immortal. So he cannot die. In the grand scheme of things, of course, he can die or fail or whatever in the game itself, but whatever. But I mean, that stuff is interesting. And I saw the Kratos versus Thor fight. Now, first of all, Thor is fat. Why is Thor fat? Come on, son. Sony, I should reach through the internet and smack you. You could have at least given him, I don't know if that's historically that you took it from some scroll that had Thor artwork on it or something, or all the gods fat because they're plentiful and fed, or I don't know what the kind of thinking methodology was in the design of Thor and God of War Ragnarok. But I would say that the Thor of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has spoiled us and trained us to think of Thor as something a little different. Not fat Thor when he was depressed, because that's what you got in God of War. But, you know, look, some kind of muscles. He didn't even have to be Chris Hemsworth or anything. That would have been funny, you know. If they would have said, like, yo, let's pay a little bit extra and get Chris Hemsworth up in here for Thor. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. But they couldn't do that because it's a different Thor. But anyway, and he's not even blonde. Right? Aren't all Vikings blonde? Well, he's redhead, so whatever. Anyway, that's just, you know, whatever. I was gonna say semantics, but that's not what. But I'm just joking when I'm talking about the appearance. I mean, how he looks. That's, you know, that doesn't matter. But what did matter, and I would say the best part of the game that I have seen so far, was the fact that Thor was he was basically cracking on Kratos. He was like, "Oh, you're the God Slayer," and he was saying all this stuff. "Come on, show me!" And he was just they was just trading blows, and Thor was mopping the ice mountain with him. He was throwing them all over the place, lifted him up into space, and then came down and put the people the God's elbow on him and stuff. It was crazy. I was like, okay, Thor was playing with him, and he was just kind of cracking on him and making fun of him the whole fight. And I was like, you know what? The writing. I think Cory Barlog wrote this game. He wrote this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cory Barlog first wrote God of War, this game, God of War Ragnarok first, and then he made God of War 2018. He wrote that one to kind of go in with this one. So, and that's really probably why that they're not making 3 games, because this was supposed to be the first game. God of War Ragnarok was supposed to be the first game, but they decided to do I don't know, prequel or whatever, and it was a good idea. It was a good idea, although it does lessen the impact of this game for that one camera shot and all that stuff, but whatever, diminishing returns, but that part, that writing, that interaction, I think that's the best thing that I took from that whole fight. Like, because the fight is just a fight. You just boom, boom, boom. You're punching, and then at one point, you got to press triangle or something, and a little QTE in there, and then like, wait, am I controlling him, or is this part of a cutscene that's inside? And then it's kind of hard to tell. It's not, but it is. But once it goes out, pulls out, then it's like, oh yeah, that's regular Kratos cam. Then you just start fighting and stuff. But the fight was like, looks like all the other fights in the God of War 2018. Didn't even look like it was like new for 2022. For Ragnarok, it was just like, oh yeah, it looks like the same stuff I've been watching forever. And this is a Thor versus Kratos fight, so it's supposed to be different and special. But I was watching, it was like 20 minutes or something like that. I think the video was 20 minutes, but it might have been shorter. But I was like, I don't know if this is like the fight itself, the gameplay, the fight itself was like, it was like meh, right? But the writing, and at one point, I guess the fight was going on too long or whatever. Thor just stopped talking. I guess he ran out of lines or something. The actor was like, damn, we should have hired him for another 4 hours, giving him $4,000. But they didn't, so he ran out of lines, he stopped talking, and I think he might have said, that's the best you can do? And then at the end he said, okay, your blood debt is paid, and then he zoomed off. So it's like, Kratos didn't even beat Thor. Thor was just playing with him. I think Thor could have just whooped his ass, but he didn't, because he's like, I'm Thor, even though you killed my sons. It's like, wait a second. Thor, wait. But I actually don't know if Kratos killed his sons. Beat them, yes. He definitely killed Boulder. Was Boulder one of Thor's sons? That might be true. So yes, he did kill him. But anyway, he let him live. Thor let him live. So maybe that's just the first fight. See, I don't know. I lack all the information, so I'll admit that. But like I said, just going back, kind of whittling it down to basics. Gameplay is the same. From what I've seen, gameplay is the same. The only thing they could and will improve upon is the writing. Not so much. Not even like Kratos's acting is better. It's like, no, it's the same. It's Christopher Judge, right? That's him. It's like, no, it's Teal'c. That's all. And he was good as Teal'c. Is he good as Kratos? I guess. I would have liked to have the original Kratos actor. I forgot his name. He was on Living Single. He's like the Chocolate Man. Because I was listening to the old voice actor and the new. I was like, they're kind of close. Although I think the original Kratos was a little bit more. It felt a little bit more forced or more bombastic or something. So, but I think he's a good enough actor that where he could dial that down and do all those things. And I think one of the I don't know if Kratos calls Atreus boy anymore in this game. I mean, that's problematic on a couple of ways. It's problematic. It's not problematic because it's father and son. Sure, it's not problematic because Atreus is not chocolate boy. You know what I mean? It's not problematic because Teal'c is not white man. And Kratos, I believe, is Middle Eastern. But he's a Spartan, right? So maybe, I don't know, Greece, I don't know. So once again, my lack of Kratos knowledge is disappointing, I think is the word. But I don't know. I mean, it'll be good, sure. But I think, I just hope that reviewers don't overrate it. You know, you got to take it for what it is. It's a game. It's derivative because the first one, if it was the first one, it's a totally different story. Oh my gosh, this is brand new. This is so cool. I wish all video games would do it. And then when all video games do it, this is so old. Why don't you do something new? You know, that's what happens, kind of, sort of. But anyway, what do y'all think? Is God of War really? I mean, besides, okay, I forgot. Oh, you know what? Stop. I forgot that the main thing of this video was supposed to be Digital Foundry, and they said that God of War was a last-gen game. Basically, they said that it was John Linneman, I believe. There was the three of them doing their weekly podcast, whatever they do, and he said basically this game is a PlayStation 4 game, and they just boosted the resolution and the frame rate for the PS5, and I was like, oh my gosh. And all these ponies and donkey unicorns out here talking about, oh, the Series S is holding back the generations. Like, no, the PlayStation 4 is literally holding back the generation. Literally. Digital Foundry said it. They said, yo, go watch their latest thing. And I was like, what? I was just watching it, I was smiling, I was like, yeah, Sony's messing up. Sony's messing up on like almost every level this generation, so much so that it's like I can't even. I'm just like, whatever, man. I just if I had an inkling of buying a PlayStation 5, it's gone. It's so far gone that it was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for the Slim or the baby one or the mini, whatever the hell they're gonna call it. I'm waiting for that because it's no point. They have no PlayStation 5, real PlayStation 5 games out. Don't tell me Returnal. I said this before. Don't tell me Returnal. Don't tell me Ratchet and Clank, because they have yet to make one. If God of War Ragnarok was not on PlayStation 4, they would call it a PlayStation 5 game exclusive, and it's still a PlayStation 4 game. That's proof that those other games were PlayStation 4 games. How'd they come out so quick? You know how long it takes to make a game? And you're telling me, Ratchet and Clank and Returnal came out near launch. Excuse me. And they were, how long did they have these dev kits? No, it's a PlayStation 4. It started on a PlayStation 4. They made it work on a PlayStation 5. That's how it works. So these are all PlayStation 4 games. Sony has yet to release a PlayStation 5 game. Period. And I just wish people would realize that. It's just so frustrating. Meanwhile, Xbox, what is, I guess Scorn and, Plague Tale. Well, Plague Tale is third party. Scorn is too. So the same could be said about Xbox, but they weren't they weren't there touting generations and So, and they've always been open about their cross-gen strategies and leanings. So, and it's better for everybody. You're like, yo, just be real. Don't try to make it look like it's something it's not. But anyway, what do y'all think? Is Digital Foundry out their mind again? I think you were dead on with this one. It's pretty good. Is Cory Barlog a little crazy in trying to put faith in the human race as far as not leaking stuff or whatever? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, because I am pretty sure more of this will happen, and we'll have more Sony leaks, and it's just par for the course at this point. Sony is slowly slipping down the rabbit hole of destruction. Not destruction, but the rabbit hole of third place, let's call it that. And it's interesting to watch it happen in real time. It's like, oh yeah, they got a cool new game coming out. What's the worst thing could happen? The only thing that Sony had going for them positively was, oh, a new banger's coming out. And now, new banger's spoiled. Everybody's upset. Digital Foundry is calling it a last-gen game. It's like, just they can't win for being winners. They can't win for being number one, so I guess they're gonna have to start losing and be number 3. That's all. They need some humble pie, I guess. And this is just the universe. It's just the universe showing them that they need to be slapped down. I was like, slap! F your couch! Anyway, thanks for showing up. Hit up the comments, you know. Like I said, I read them all. Let me know what y'all think. And I'll see y'all on the next one.